This is Algebra 2, 10.1b, Midpoints of Segments and Theorem. And this is a remake of a video I made last week. I want to give a shout out to Don, who was extremely intelligent and caught a math error I made. We've only got one video for Chapter 10 so far, and that'll be linked in this description. We can find the coordinates of the midpoint of a segment if we know the coordinates of the endpoints. And the coordinates of the midpoint of a segment can be found by averaging the coordinates of the endpoints. We use a distance formula to verify a formula for finding the coordinates of the midpoint of a segment when the coordinates of the endpoints are known if they're given to us. So the midpoint is the middle. It's the center of the segment with equal distance to each endpoint. Okay? So here's our theorem. It's the midpoint formula. If the coordinates of the endpoints of a segment are x sub 1, y sub 1, and x sub 2, y sub 2. Now remember, these little 1s and 2s tell us which ordered pair we're talking about. So this is the first ordered pair, that's the second ordered pair, and that's why they have these little subscript numbers. Okay? Well then, the coordinates of the midpoint will be this. So all we have to do is put our x sub 1, y sub 1, x sub 2, y sub 2 values in here and solve it. We add the x values and divide that by 2. We add the y values and divide that by 2. Because finding an average, you divide the sum by the amount of numbers that we added. And we're adding 2 numbers, so we're going to divide it by 2. Okay? So we can find the coordinates of the midpoints of the segment with endpoints with x is a negative 3, y is a 5, and x is a 4, y is a negative 7. Here's our equation. We plug in our numbers. We've got x sub 1, x sub 2, so we got a negative 3 plus 4. That's going to give us a positive 1, isn't it? Then we've got a 5 plus a negative 7. That's going to give us a negative 2. Before I had just a regular 2. I didn't have the negative sign in front of it. I screwed up there, didn't I? So it's a negative 2, which means we're going to have a negative 1 because the numerator and denominator are the same, right? So we've got x is a half, y is negative 1, x is a half, right here, and y is a negative 1, so our midpoint is right there at half for x and negative 1 for y. Okay? Thank you, Don. All right, so now we can find the coordinates of the midpoint of a segment with endpoints 9 for x and negative 6 for y, and 9 for x and negative 4 for y. So we have our x sub 1, y sub 1, x sub 2, y sub 2. We put them into the formula, and we have 9 plus 9 over 2. We have negative 6 plus negative 4 over 2. We do our addition and our division. We get 18 over 2 and negative 10 over 2. That's going to give us a 9 for x and a negative 5 for y. That's our midpoint. And these are so close together. Now remember, it's got to be a 9 and a negative 5. So we've got 9 and negative 5 is right in the middle. That's our midpoint. See? A little tiny line segment, isn't it? All right, our next video is 10.2a. We're going to be introducing conic sections. I'm going to add this to the Algebra 2 playlist, and we only have one previous video for Chapter 10 so far, 10.1a. I hope you're doing well. I really appreciate it because I make so many videos, sometimes a little math error comes in, and sometimes the person that catches it is correct. Good job. I'll see you next video. Bye.